you and I spoke earlier about becoming a recruitable athlete. What does that mean? And you immediately you broke it down into like, okay, does this kid have like? You asked me a few questions. Mm-hmm. So in your brain, how does that work?
So in regards to Cal Poly, and probably generally, it's your accolades get you on the desk, your academics get you into school, and character gets you onto the team, right? Those things vary from school to school, right? For us, they happen to be high in all three categories. We want really good wrestlers, we want high academic students, and we want the best character on our team. We want good, responsible, punctual, trustworthy humans helping us build this program.
So when you convey those three things to athletes, how do you know when they're bullshitting? No, for real, because like that's a thing.
Yeah.
And some of the dads and some of the coaches and some of the kids are well thought out when they do this stuff.
So that part's tricky.
Yeah.
So being well thought out is very tricky, but it's the job for the coach to be as thorough as they need to get the athlete that they want. So for me, for Cal Poly, we will do multiple recruiting visits on campus. So we'll do on-campus visits. If we're still investigating, we'll go out and see them in person, or if there's some urgency, we'll go out there and see them early. The things that we're looking for are communication with coaches, communication with their parents, communication with their teammates, and seeing how they interact. And we ask questions with those three categories as well. Like, hey, like, tell me a little bit about, your experience with wrestler, or, and just like paying attention to how respectful they are to their coaches, how respectful they are to their parents, interactions with their, those things carry on by far. You might be able to play a part, but if your sibling does something to tick you off in the middle of a recruiting process, you'll be able to like pay attention to some of those cues. So we're very careful. We're very careful.
So what about a kid who has been started wrestling freshman year, is not close to their peers? How do they get in front of you? Maybe they're not lighting the world on fire yet, but they're working diligently. They're taking care of business in the classroom. How do they get in front of Chewy? It's
difficult. If I were placed in the position, and what has worked for wrestlers in a similar category for me is they figure out what we're looking for. And one, they have to be really good with their first impressions, because we do a good job of sifting out, and we're more focused on finding the guys that we need, right? Their accolades, their grades, and things like that. So if your accolades aren't there, right, I know the tournaments that I need to go to, and where you need to stand on the podium for you to fit into our program and take us forward. So if you're not there, your best bet is to utilize the first impression really well, whether that's in person, right? You're gonna have to find me at one of the tournaments that I go to, or find one of our staff at the tournaments that we go to. Phone calls are hit or miss, right? If the coach is gonna pick up the phone. Emails, I would highly suggest using them, right? But use them well. So if you're gonna email a coach, I would be brief, and I would ask the question, like, what are you looking for in an athlete? As far as, hey, like, what kind of accolades do I need to be on your team? What are the grades I need to be on your team? Those kind of things. Because you can, like, man, I've gotten some of the craziest emails before where, they'll send a picture of themselves flexing, and I'm like, I'm the hardest worker in the room. That's not what I'm looking for. To put it plainly, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy that's placed on the podium in these tournaments, state tournament, national tournaments, and things like that. So I immediately throw that in the trash can, because not always. Actually, most often, I do. But it's just like,
well, good. Congrats.
Right.
That's not what we're doing.
your bathroom selfie is great for you. Like, good. So I'm looking for, right? If you're not there, I want to know how you're going to get there. So if you care enough to know, like if you're aware enough to know that you're not there and you care enough to figure out how, I'm already interested. But if you're just like, I'm the best person on your team, I want to come on an official visit, like, whoa, that's, you're not respecting, or maybe, maybe you're not respecting our goals as well. Not that you're not good enough, but we're a very driven staff, we're a very driven team, and we have high goals. The people that we're going to recruit to be on our team are, in one way or another, going to help us move forward. I hope that you're interested in figuring out how to be that guy if you're not it already. What
is the biggest red flag during a recruiting process? They do this and you're like, get the heck out of here.
Oh, man. If they, like, that's a good question. I probably can't answer it off the top of my head. That's a really good question. If the parents are asking or answering all the questions, the biggest red flag ever. That means the biggest red flag ever. That means your parents are going to answer every other question that comes up, or someone else has to be responsible for you, or I have to make, like, most often, like, I've seen it enough, I've given enough grace, like, there's a skill level and, like, some leniency that happens, like, he's pretty good, and you might, like, brush off some red flags. At this point, like, nope, no way. So that's one of them.
That's valuable. Understand, like, that is valuable information for every dad in this country, every wrestling dad in this country to hear. You know that, right? Because
I hope so.
It's true. It's very valuable.
Man.
Because it's embarrassing to me when I ask a kid a question and their dad answers it. It's embarrassing.
And when they, like, step in.
I'm like, hey, I wouldn't talk to you. Like,
man, I hope that this is received in a way not to, like, put dad in his place, but give the kid the opportunity to stand up for himself. That is what I want out of my wrestling. I don't want someone else to answer his questions the entire time, nor do I want to answer his questions while we're on the road or whatever, you know. So we'll call it that. That's probably the biggest red flag.
That's a great one. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.